Hey, everybody. I am so glad you're with me this morning. Wednesday in the Word, just a few moments in God's Word together is one of my favorite times of the week. So thank you for being with me this morning. I want to ask you a few questions. Are you exhausted? Are you tired? What do you do when you're exhausted? What do you do when you're tired? Or better yet, who do you turn to? I don't know where you are today physically. I don't know where you are today mentally. I don't know where you are today emotionally. I don't know where you are today spiritually, but maybe you're tired. Maybe you're exhausted in one of those areas, or maybe two of those areas, or maybe all of those areas. Well, I've got a good word for you today. Listen to what Jesus says to you and me when we are tired, when we are exhausted. He says this in Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 through 30. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Now, I know many times in these passages and these scriptures, when Jesus is talking to his disciples or when he's talking to his followers, Jesus is talking to them because they have been serving God by serving people. They've been participating in kingdom ministry. And what we see in the scriptures is that when we participate in kingdom ministry, when we love God and we love people, it's going to cost us. And so we're going to get exhausted sometimes. We're going to get tired sometimes. And it's going to be physical. It could be mental. It can be emotional. And it certainly can be spiritual. But Jesus has the answer for your exhaustion. He has the answer for us when we are tired. Jesus says, come to me. He invites us. He says, come to me and I will give you rest. That is what you need in your soul. That is what you need in your heart and in your mind. That's what you need in your body. You need rest. And Jesus says, I have the rest that you need. He invites you to come to him and get that rest. This is so, so good. You know, I'm training right now. I'm almost done training. I've been training for several months for the New York City Marathon. I'm going to be running that on November 5th of this year. I'm 26 days away from that marathon. And my training has been hard. As a matter of fact, just this past week, I ran the longest run that I've run so far in my training. I've run very hard. There have been speed runs and long runs. And yes, there have been some easy runs here and there, but all in between those runs, I have planted days of rest. The reason I have rested on certain days throughout my training is because if I want to give my very best, I must have rest. And that's a physical thing, that's a mental thing, that's an emotional thing, and it is very much a spiritual thing because I want to give God my best in everything I say, in everything I do, even in my running. I want to glorify God. And if I want to glorify God and give God my best, I must have rest. And I know who to turn to. It's Jesus, because Jesus promises me that if I come to him, he will give me rest. I love this because Matthew chapter 11 is not the only time when Jesus invites his disciples and invites his followers to come to him for rest. He also says this in Mark chapter 6. Listen to this. In Mark chapter 6, verses 30 through 32, listen to what was happening. It says, the apostles gathered around Jesus and reported to him all they had done and all they had taught. Then, because so many people were coming and going that they did not even have a chance to eat, Jesus said to them, come with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest. So they went away by themselves in a boat to a solitary place. Jesus recognized that his disciples had been working hard. They had been serving hard. They had been loving God and loving people. But he recognized in this moment what they needed. They needed rest. And Jesus invited them. He said, come with me. Come to me and let me give you what you need. You need a quiet place. You need rest. And so this morning, if you're exhausted, if you're tired in any kind of way, physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, I just want to do what Jesus did. I want to invite you to come to Jesus. Come to Jesus so that He can give you the rest that you need. And He'll give you that rest that will help you be your best and do your best. And so I'm so thankful that Jesus has invited me and invited you to come to Him for what we need when we're exhausted and tired, and that is His rest. Oh, His rest is so good. So wherever you are today, whatever you're going through, if you're tired and exhausted, I'm inviting you to come to Jesus. Come to Jesus and let Him give you that rest that you so desperately need. I don't know about you, but this was a good word for me. I needed it, and I needed it in every area of my life, not just my running and my training for my marathon, but this journey called life, this kingdom ministry that God has called me to, that I am joyfully and actively participating in. There are days when I just have to be still. There are days when I just have to sit down and rest in Jesus, and I'm thankful for it. Again, I just want to say thank you for spending these moments with me today in God's Word. And just like I reminded you that I have 26 days left until my New York City Marathon, I want to remind you of this. We're only 44 days away from Thanksgiving. Wow, that's incredible. And because we're only 44 days away from Thanksgiving, let me remind you that means we're only 76 days away from Christmas. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you have a great rest of your week. And I really do hope that you will come to Jesus and find rest in Him today, tomorrow, and every other day.